everyone. Welcome back. You're still with us here on the C Morning Show. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, Shafira, but we did mention today is July the 10th, and that is in line with Global Energy Independence Day that is annually celebrated on this day. And you also know that we use various forms of energy, traditionally such as coal and gas, to power almost everything in our daily lives, from home appliances, automobiles, heating, and much, much more.
Yeah, so basically we are contributing.
Oh yeah, in a big way.
Yes, of course. And these are called fossil fuels and may cause a number of environmental issues such as pollution, land degradation, and global warming.
And today we would like to help raise more awareness in regards to alternative energy and encourage all of you and all of us to find out more about renewable energy. And to that end, we will this morning have a chat with SE Asia Group Tech and futurism data miner Akita Verselita. And she will share with us the methods that we can do to adapt with advances in renewable energy. Good morning. Thank you for joining us, Akita.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about this
Yes.
very important issue that we must aware because it's related to our daily basis activity, right? So, Akita, could you please tell us definition of renewable energy in general and why it matters?
Okay, thank you so much, Safia. You just earlier mentioned that we are contributing to the, let's say, destruction of the world, but it's inevitable. Like everyone, every human being, every creature that exists in this earth, we do have like our emissions to survive, to stay alive. We take energy from that. So that knowing that we couldn't survive without taking the resources, then why is it matters? Because if we don't have the energy, we couldn't live. We couldn't sustain our life. So if you're talking about the sustainable energy or renewable energy, it is something that where the energy sources is not replenished throughout times. Even though some are sustainable, some are not. Nowadays, we know that most of the energy coming from the fossil fuel, which coming from probably a million years ago, and it's going to end someday, it's going to finish. So now we are in the urge to find what's more sustainable, what can sustain us for the longer time.
Because with those traditional methods, eventually it's limited, right? We're going to run out.
Definitely. That's what is the energy like we used to know. But now, knowing that Indonesia and other countries as well understand that the urgency of energy security, to sustain the life of the livelihood, then yeah, we are looking into the term of renewable energy.
What are some examples of renewable energy that we currently know and use to this day?
Okay, I think probably you can mention solar energy.
Okay.
Since we are in a tropical country, we have a year-long sunlight. It's a blessing for Indonesia and probably most of the Southeast Asia countries. And then we have wind energy, wind and then tidal, which coming from the oceans. And then we have hydro. So Indonesia has a lot of
waterfalls? Does that count?
Yeah, waterfall, water basin, any motions coming from the water,
Right.
then it can be energy. Anything that move can create energy.
Okay. Would you say that, because I've also, looking into renewable energy, a lot of the renewable energy we have is still relatively small on the scale that what we need as a world to survive. So what do you think, what is the decision behind some of these, and what are some of the other ideas for future renewable energy that we are looking into?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting question, Paul, because I think the urgency of looking into alternative energy is just coming from probably less than 20 years ago because back then we were thinking that, we have enough, especially since the industrial revolution coming just like not so far, not so long ago.
Right.
So now that we are getting advanced, meaning that everyone has to look like how are we going to survive in the next centuries, for example. So yes, it is still new. So especially in Southeast Asia, like probably Indonesia and some other countries are still, it requires a lot of efforts from all stakeholders, and it's not going to be cheap per se, because throughout these years we have built the infrastructure that is very based on the fossil fuels. So when we are coming up with new innovation in the renewable energy, so what's going to do with the infrastructure that we have existed?
Okay.
And also that we don't have
Yeah.
the new one prepared yet.
Correct.
Right?
And we are still using it
Yes, we
and
have
we are
to.
at the
still
same time.
Yeah, and then it will require new fundings to fully transition from the
Correct.
old methods to the new to new alternative.
Wow,
So
it's a lot of courage.
I would like to use the example like electric cars, for example.
Yeah.
There's vehicles everywhere.
Yeah.
We are very reliant on fossil fuels to run our gas, conventional gas. But at the same time, we want to make this transition. But it's not easy. For one, it costs more right
Yeah.
now. And I
It's not
guess
cheap.
No, it's definitely not cheap. The infrastructure is not
Yeah,
there.
it's not
You can
easy.
charge at home, but
Yes.
can you charge on the road? In some places, you can now.
Yeah.
So, knowing that, do you think that this will continue? And what do you think the outlook right now is here in Southeast Asia compared to the world?
Yeah, that's interesting because when we think about energy, there's supposed to be some indicators that we should prepare. For example, the accessibility, affordability, and also the acceptability from the people as well. So looking into that, I think as the market now is following the trend of getting the electric vehicle, then by the end of the day, when the demand is there, the supply will be there. And Southeast Asia countries, they're, I think, heading toward that directions. Some countries are more ahead than the
Advanced,
others.
right.
Like for example, like Thailand now, by the end of 2022, they have 59% of the whole market capital in the EV through Southeast
Wow.
Asia.
Yes.
Yeah, Indonesia is only like 20% something.
For producing
Below.
electric cars.
Producing and also
And
using. It.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's also shifting from Thailand as an automobile maker into EV user as well.
Yes, wow.
Yeah, so let's take Singapore for example. Singapore now is having like 1,800 charging station,
Okay.
and they're planning to have 60,000 by 2030.
Wow.
And can you imagine how much
Quite
money?
progressive,
Correct.
exactly.
It's very progressive, so that a lot of potential there. And I think if the market is ready, then they will adapt to it, especially when the infrastructure is there, the funding is there, and when there are mass demand, probably the prices will
It's
go down
more
as well.
cheaper, exactly, and
It's-
more affordable
it's
for
more
everyone.
affordable.
So if we are there,
Yes.
well, we are going there
Yeah.
in the future, how will renewable energy change the world?
It's going to bring a lot of it's a relief actually because when we are talking about renewable energy, it comes with less emissions. That's actually what we are trying to solve as well, because energy security should come with the prevention of climate change as well. So what's good about renewable energy is that they produce less emissions, which also going politically with the country's directions now that they are committed to reduce or to have joint efforts to mitigate the climate change. So when it comes, it's going to be good for everyone. Hopefully, we can be more responsible human beings who understand what to consume, which type of energy to consume.
Why we need to
Why
use
we-
the renewable
Correct.
energy instead of using the fossil
That's
one.
correct, because it's renewable energy tend to be efficient, and there are a lot of opportunity and potential for technology advancement. So when innovations coming in, new ideas coming in, tap into each field of new energy, then hopefully the result that we are looking is better than let's say the fossil fuel back then. It was very traditional.
You also mentioned about, it's very interesting because you mentioned about someone needs to be aware
Correct.
of the importance to use the renewable energy because it has a long positive impact for the next generation. So basic is related to education.
Yep, definitely.
We know that Indonesia have so many challenges. We speak about education, the different character from Java Island throughout Indonesia. What is the biggest challenge that we are facing here regarding to the renewable
Yes.
energy?
Thank you so much, Safia. I think when we're talking about the challenge, it's going to come from all stakeholders. Like every stakeholder will face it. like the government, they should prepare the regulations. The private sectors, they should prepare the funds, the innovations, the accessibility as well. And for the people as well, they should come with an open mind that it is something new and something to adapt. Because otherwise, if one stakeholders couldn't perform their role, then it's not going to be adaptable to, or sustainable. So it's going to be a challenge. And I think one thing that education, as you mentioned, is going to be a big challenge, because now that not everyone has the awareness and the knowledge of why they should move into renewable energy, it doesn't bring the urgency to adapt that. So I think this issue should be more publicized, should have more spotlight. Even though the topic is quite niche, like it's not many people able to comprehend the comprehensive urgency. But then by the end of the day, there are other things such as trend, social trend, which I think nowadays people are like, they tend to be FOMO. So when someone talking about something and it's going big, and then some other people would want to also adopt it, and it's a part. Probably renewable energy is going to be a new culture as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially in the urban area
Yeah.
like Jakarta or the big city like Jakarta or something. Probably if you go to eastern part of Indonesia or more deeper, going to the village, probably they use something that we never thought about.
Yeah,
They use something more traditional, but actually it's safe for the
for
environment.
the environment,
Yes.
it's better.
I would like to share you like one thing that my friend did.
Sure.
So in Kalimantan, like one of my friend, his village doesn't have access to electricity,
Okay.
and he create what it's called micro hydro. So he create like a what is that, like electric power coming from. In Indonesia, we call it kali.
The
Not even
river.
not even sungai.
Smaller than
Yeah, it's
river.
smaller than river, and it's able to give electricity to the whole village.
Wow.
The entire village. We're
Yeah,
talking like lights and
Yeah, back
like
then-
plug-in sockets.
Back then, they only have like a diesel machine.
Yeah.
The
So
generator.
Yeah, the generator. So that I think it's a one thing that we don't have to go big. We can start small in the
Yeah.
grassroots level. With everything that we have. So even though, as I mentioned, funding is going to be a challenge, but there are other methods, much simpler ones for
Yes.
ones to adapt.
We need that, especially for households.
Correct.
Okay.
Creativity.
Creativity.
Sometimes it takes
Indonesian
creativity.
people is creative.
And if you're an engineer, you can build a power generator
We
from
need
your river.
youngsters like her.
Well, actually, that runs into my
To
next
say
question,
that.
because you mentioned a lot that in the end, it's the consumer acceptability and our adaptability to making these changes. But apart from going out there and buying an electric car, and they're not cheap right now because
Yeah.
the price point for the batteries are still very high, what can we do in our households right now to adapt a more sustainable energy lifestyle? Apart from going out there and completely changing something we do. Like,
don't have the
I'm not
budget
ready
yet.
yet, but I'm thinking about it. That's why I've researched about it, but I'm not ready to make that turn. But I would like to make some changes.
Yes.
What are some of the changes we can make?
Okay, thank you so much. So as I mentioned, like we have to live on daily basis, and by the end of the day, we are going to consume the resources that we have. So I think we can start with reducing whatever resources that we need. So we reduce our consumerism. So it's one thing, because now with the trend and rapid economic growth,
FOMO.
yeah, FOMO as well. So I think and also like e-commerce, like we can purchase anything at instance. So when it's not important, let's reduce that.
Good idea.
And second thing, probably we should start educating our ourselves. So when the market ready and we are ready financially, we can adapt that. So we don't have like a gap to comprehend.
Because it's a big change, right?
It's
like it's a
so
change of
much
lifestyle.
big.
Yeah, but it's going to go gradually.
Yeah.
It's gradually. So probably we are not going to take like from 0 to 100% adaptability, but then we will start with something more like, okay, this one is more efficient than the other. So we will start choosing and taking the wise decision on our energy consuming. So that's the second. And then the third, like if you are interested with these topics, you can start with the advocacy campaign, educate others. I think it's very important. And be open-minded with the new with the new knowledge. Yeah, I think it's important to have the right comprehension about this issue because, yeah, it's a bit political, especially with the geopolitics nowadays.
Sure.
But I'm sure that all countries in the world, most of them, they have the commitment to go better
Yeah.
in terms of energy consumption.
I think everyone is more on the same page now than they were 10, 20 years ago. Like even oil companies know, hey, we've got a limited resources of oil. What are we going to do after this as well? And if I can add to those suggestions that you made, I sometimes take public transportation, which is part of
that's very
reduction.
good.
So that's good. But also on public
Working in a
transportation, you can choose an electric option. Like sometimes I'll choose the electric option. It's 1,000 rupiah more. That's less than 10 cents. So to me,
on
this
the
makes no
app
difference.
when you
can
want to
choose.
order, you can
choose the electric.
Oh,
it's quieter.
Save less. How many percent?
That's
so
right.
Probably you have to be more aware. So basically, the challenge from the human.
Yeah, that's the human. Like
Yeah.
like Paul, like he is well knowledge. He has enough comprehension to choose better.
Exactly.
Though it's gonna cost more, but not
Yeah.
everyone would do that.
But we're more responsible.
Yeah. Correct.
To the environment.
Yeah, like 1,000 for Paul probably nothing, but for the others, it's,
Sure.
It's important.
yeah, especially if it is on a daily basis, right?
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's a financial decision as well that we
Okay.
should think of.
So one more thing, Akita, we are talking about this environmental issue, about sustainability, kind of living, renewable energy, but this topic is still exclusive for some,
Kind of.
some
Feels like it.
group of people or community. What do you think that we can do to make this topic be as pop as, we're talking about Korean music,
Yeah.
we're talking about new film.
That's true.
Because it's very important because it's something that we have to live
Yes.
with us, right?
So I think the answer to that is make it popular. So I think for the past few weeks we are very hyped with the Coldplay concert, for example, and they're bringing such a amazing theme for the tour, which is the music of the spheres. So back then. Talking about sustainability, especially specifically on renewable energy, is a out of the world kind of topic. But now it's more relatable to us, right? So I think those kind of soft campaign will work, especially on the newer generations. So I think this topic is not supposed to be discussed in a formal forum discussion. It can be popularized. A lot of things can be popularized. I mean, like even for example, K-pop, like they're actually campaigning about the culture, the economic growth, and etc. But they cover it with music and movies and arts. So why not with sustainable issues? Nowadays, I think I see the shift that when we see someone more sustainable, they perceive as cool. Right? When you bring tumbler instead of
a tote bag.
A tote bag.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I think
favorite to walk.
let's take MRT, guys.
Exactly.
I don't
You can be the
you
the
can be
agent.
ambassador.
You can be the agent of public transport.
So let's glorify that. Let's glorify
Make
the
it fun.
spirit. Make it fun. I think not everyone has the capacity to make an impact, but then you can do it gradually. And you can make it fun.
We can start from ourselves. Then. Okay.
And
Don't
make
be
it cool.
Make it cool.
Post
Be
it on
proud.
social media.
It's a good idea, guys.
Hashtag
Yeah.
walk of the day.
Get BTS some electric cars. That'll do it for sure.
All right.
Akita, thank you so much for coming by and
Thank you
sharing
so
on this.
much.
What I think is a very interesting topic, but some people, as Shafira mentioned, may find it a little too irrelevant or out of sight, out of mind.
It's too far
Yeah,
for
exactly.
me.
Hey, the future is here. The future is now.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much once
Thank
again.
you so much.
And hopefully we can do something to keep our environment safe and be responsible to our daily basis activity. All right. We'll take a break, but we will have updates from around the world when we return. Stay with us on SC Morning Show.